Has someone you love started telling the same story over and over, sometimes even in the same conversation? It's a familiar refrain that often leaves us feeling a mix of confusion and mild frustration, quickly dismissed as just part of getting older. But what if these repeated narratives are more than simple forgetfulness? What if they're quiet, profound communications, sending subtle warnings, or reaching out for something deeper that we often miss? Many families assume these repetitions are merely a sign of everyday aging, yet the truth is, they can often signal significant shifts in the body and mind, particularly in the final year of life. When these signs are misunderstood, precious opportunities for connection and meaningful interaction can slip away, leaving behind feelings of regret and unspoken understanding. In this story, we'll explore why loved ones keep telling the same stories, uncovering the true reasons behind these echoes of time. You'll discover that these repetitive narratives are not random acts of a fading memory, but serve a purpose, often acting as key signs. We're going to talk about 3 crucial signs that often appear as someone approaches the final stage of life, revealing what these stories truly mean and how you can respond with compassion and clarity. Recognizing these 3 signs early gives you the opportunity to provide better care, to truly cherish meaningful moments, and most importantly, to ensure your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. Stay with us until the end, because understanding these patterns can help you prepare emotionally and practically for what's ahead. When you comprehend what's happening, you'll be able to make the most of the time you have left with those you love. Has someone you love started telling the same story over and over? It's more than just forgetting. You might find yourself in a cozy armchair, perhaps with a loved one holding a faded photograph. You've heard the story countless times. Back in '44, when I was stationed in Normandy, or the day the war ended, the whole town went wild. It's a vivid tale from their youth, recounted with a consistent rhythm, the details often as sharp and clear as if they happened yesterday. Each time, the same names, the same events, the same emotional beats. These aren't just random anecdotes. They are deeply etched narratives, a part of their very fabric, brought forth with a gentle, reminiscent smile. Or perhaps it's a bright morning in the kitchen, a familiar teacup on the table, and the story begins again. My wedding day, oh, it was the brightest day. You hear about the dress, the flowers, the nervous anticipation, or the unexpected downpour that everyone laughed about. It could be the birth of their first child, a significant career achievement, or a cherished family holiday. These stories are often told with a joyful glint in their eyes, a deep sense of pride, or a quiet warmth that fills the room. They are specific, treasured moments, replayed with an almost cinematic quality. Why do these particular narratives surface so frequently? For your loved one, repeating these stories offers a profound sense of comfort and security. In a world that might feel increasingly confusing or unfamiliar, these foundational memories serve as powerful anchors. They are not simply recounting facts. They are reaffirming their identity, their place in the family, and the significance of their life journey. Each retelling is a return to a safe, known space, a moment of clarity and self-recognition that provides solace when the present often feels uncertain. It's a way for them to say, "This is who I am. This is what I've lived." From a physiological perspective, the brain's landscape shifts as we age. Older, deeply ingrained memories, those formed through repetition, strong emotional connection, and frequent recall over decades, are remarkably resilient. They reside in different parts of the brain, more robust and less susceptible to the changes that affect newer, short-term memories. As cognitive decline progresses, the brain naturally begins to prioritize, holding on to these core identity markers. It's like a library where the most cherished, well-worn books are kept on the main shelves, while newer, less-read titles become harder to locate. This isn't a flaw. It's the brain's way of preserving what it deems most essential to the individual's sense of self. Understanding this shift allows you to approach these repetitions not with impatience, but with deep empathy. When your loved one shares their war story or wedding narrative for the 10th time, they are often experiencing joy, pride, or a profound sense of purpose in that moment. Their emotional well-being is tied to these recollections. Your role, then, becomes one of validation. Instead of gently reminding them they've told you this before, listen with fresh ears. Engage with the emotion behind the words. A simple, "That sounds like a truly remarkable day," or "You must have been so proud," can honor their past and meet their present emotional need for connection and validation. It's about dignifying their experience every single time. You might have noticed a subtle shift in the way stories are told. Perhaps your loved one begins to ask the same question, repeatedly, with an almost anxious air. "When is so-and-so coming?" Or, "Did we lock the door?" even moments after it was secured. It's a gentle, persistent refrain that can often feel like an unanswered question hanging in the air. The truth is, the repetition isn't always about needing the answer again, but about the act of asking itself. It can be a quiet expression of an underlying concern, a search for reassurance, or a simple need to connect and confirm presence in a world that feels increasingly uncertain. Sometimes, repetitive stories become deeply ingrained in daily rituals. You might find that certain narratives, perhaps about a cherished pet from childhood or a favorite holiday memory, are recounted at specific times of day, or when certain people are present. It could be every morning over breakfast, or each evening before bed. These aren't random occurrences. They become a comforting part of the routine. In a life where change can feel overwhelming and unpredictable, these familiar narratives provide a sense of structure, a predictable anchor in the shifting sands of memory. They are a way to maintain a rhythm, a personal ritual that provides security. As cognitive changes progress, the world can become an overwhelming place. New information, unfamiliar faces, or altered routines can trigger confusion and anxiety. In this landscape, familiar stories or questions offer a cognitive safe space. Repeating these narratives becomes a way to re-establish a sense of known reality, a verbal touchstone in a disorienting present. It's not about being forgetful in the way you might assume. It's a deep-seated psychological need to find comfort in what is known, to grasp onto threads of identity and belonging when the present moment feels elusive. This search for familiarity is a powerful, often unspoken, need. From a physiological perspective, this repetitive search for information or reassurance often stems from what is known as memory consolidation failure. New experiences, recent conversations, or even the answers just provided struggle to stick in the brain's short-term memory. The neural pathways responsible for processing new information and transferring it into long-term storage are no longer functioning efficiently. This means that a question asked moments ago can feel entirely new to your loved one, or a story just told can be experienced as fresh and novel. Their brain is struggling to process and store new experiences, leading to a continuous loop of asking or stating, as if for the very first time. For those providing care, hearing the same stories or answering the same questions repeatedly can be profoundly frustrating and emotionally exhausting. It's natural to feel a sense of weariness, even irritation, when your words seem to vanish into thin air. You are not alone in these feelings. They are a normal response to a challenging situation. It's important to remember that patience in these moments is often a learned skill, not an inherent one. Acknowledging your own emotional toll is a vital step in continuing to offer compassionate care, allowing you to approach these repetitions with renewed understanding rather than simple exasperation. When faced with this type of repetition, the most powerful response often lies beyond the literal words. Instead of focusing solely on the factual content, try to interpret the underlying emotional message or need. Is your loved one expressing anxiety, boredom, loneliness, or a desire for connection? If they ask about a loved one who is absent, perhaps they are feeling lonely. If they repeat a simple statement, perhaps they are seeking acknowledgement or a feeling of being heard. Responding to the emotion behind the repetition with a gentle touch, a reassuring word, or simply by being present can offer far more comfort than simply correcting the factual content. This empathetic listening bridges the gap between their world and yours. You might find yourself in a brightly lit room, perhaps a familiar living space. Yet your loved one repeatedly asks, "What day is it today?" or "Where are we going?" even when you've just answered moments before. This isn't just a simple lapse of memory. It's a profound disorientation, a feeling of being adrift in time and place. The world around them, once a comforting anchor, now feels fluid and unfamiliar. The repetition of these questions can be unsettling, a rapid-fire succession that stems from genuine distress. They are not trying to annoy you. They are genuinely struggling to grasp the present, each question a desperate attempt to find their bearings in a shifting reality. This acute short-term memory loss can also manifest as a cycle of repeating demands. Perhaps you've just offered your loved one a cool drink, and they've taken a sip, only to ask for a drink again moments later. Or they might express an urgent desire to go home, despite being in their own familiar residence, or having just returned from an outing. To you, the request is frustratingly redundant, but to them, the memory of the action you just took, or the journey you just completed, has simply vanished. Each demand is perceived as a fresh, unmet need, a new thought born from a cognitive gap. Their world resets in brief, confusing intervals, leaving them to express the same needs, as if for the very first time. When the present fades so quickly, it can trigger a deep, urgent need for reassurance, often fueled by anxiety and fear. Imagine the confusion. The world seems to change around you. Familiar faces might blur, and the sense of now constantly slips away. This profound confusion can easily escalate into a silent panic, leading to a desperate, repetitive search for answers. Your loved one might repeat a question not because they expect a different factual answer, but because the act of asking, of engaging, is a plea for comfort, a cry for a stable point in their disorienting reality. The repetition is a symptom of their distress, a tangible expression of their internal struggle, rather than an act of defiance or simple forgetfulness. Understanding this shifts your response from frustration to profound empathy. At this stage, the brain, like other vital organs, is undergoing a significant energy shift. It's not just about forgetting. It's about a physiological slowdown. As the body nears its final stage, its resources are increasingly conserved for essential functions. This means reduced blood flow and nutrient supply to the brain, severely impacting its ability to process new information, retain short-term memories, and maintain a coherent sense of the present. The acute confusion and disorientation you observe are direct consequences of this neural decline. It's as if the brain's internal light is dimming, making it harder to anchor to current events, leading to a profound and often distressing disconnection from the immediate world. As the confusion becomes overwhelming, you may notice a transition from repetitive talking to periods of silence, or even minimal interaction. The constant effort to grasp the present, to articulate needs, or to find a point of reference eventually becomes too exhausting. This can be a poignant sign that your loved one is retreating internally, overwhelmed by the inability to process the present moment. They may gaze blankly, less engaged in their surroundings, finding solace in quiet solitude rather than striving for communication. This silent withdrawal is not a choice, but a consequence of a mind struggling to cope, a final stage where the external world becomes too much to bear and inner peace is sought in stillness. When your loved one repeats a story or a question, your first instinct might be to gently correct them, reminding them they've just said that. But this approach, though well-intentioned, can often lead to frustration for you and distress for them. Instead, consider the power of validation. If they're recounting a vivid memory, respond to the feeling it evokes. "That sounds like a wonderful memory," or "You seem so proud when you tell that story." If they're asking a question repeatedly, address the underlying concern, not just the words, "You sound worried about that," or "I understand you want to know when person is coming." This validates their experience and fosters connection. After validating their feelings, you can gently redirect their attention. This isn't about dismissing their story, but about guiding them towards a new point of focus if the repetition becomes overwhelming. Try introducing a different topic, suggesting a simple activity, or offering a familiar comfort. Perhaps look at old photo albums together, listen to their favorite music, or simply sit quietly with them. Most importantly, offer continuous reassurance. A gentle touch, a soothing tone, or a calm presence can communicate safety and love, grounding them in the present through your unwavering support. Your calm presence can be a powerful anchor in their shifting world. Creating a peaceful and predictable environment is another powerful way you can support a loved one experiencing repetitive storytelling. A calm, uncluttered space can significantly reduce anxiety and confusion, which often fuel repetitive behaviors. Maintain a consistent daily routine, as familiarity provides a sense of security when the world feels unpredictable. Arrange familiar objects around them, items that hold personal meaning and can offer comfort. Soft lighting, gentle background music, or the familiar scent of home can all contribute to an atmosphere of serenity. When surroundings feel safe, the urgent need to re-establish reality through repetition often lessens, fostering peace. While your compassionate presence and understanding are paramount, there are times when seeking professional insight can provide invaluable support. If the repetitive storytelling is accompanied by significant changes in behavior, increased distress, or a sudden decline in cognitive function, consulting your loved one's doctor or a specialist is a vital step. They can assess for underlying medical conditions, review medications that might be contributing to confusion, or suggest therapeutic interventions. Professional guidance can offer you additional strategies, resources, and a supportive network, empowering you and your family to navigate these changes with greater confidence and ensuring your loved one receives the best possible care. As we come to the end of our journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the echoes we've explored. We've seen that when a loved one repeatedly tells the same stories, it's not simply just forgetting. Instead, these are often profound communications, signs that their body and mind are navigating a complex internal landscape. We've discussed how these repetitions can manifest in three key ways. First, as the past becomes present, where cherished old memories surface with vivid clarity, offering comfort and a sense of identity. Second, as the search for connection, where repeated questions or narratives are a way to seek reassurance, routine, or simply to engage. And third, as the fading present, where acute disorientation leads to urgent, repetitive questions about time or place, or eventually, a quiet withdrawal. These are all part of a natural, albeit challenging, process. Understanding these signs isn't about fearing what's ahead, it's about transforming your perspective. Knowing why a beloved parent or grandparent repeats a story can shift your own response from frustration to profound compassion. It allows you to move beyond the literal words and truly hear the heart of what's being communicated, be it a need for comfort, a desire for connection, or a quiet anchor to their past identity. This knowledge empowers you to be truly present, to listen with renewed patience, and to offer the reassurance that makes all the difference. Your presence becomes a gift, a steady hand, in a world that may feel increasingly uncertain to them. These repetitive narratives, far from being a burden, are precious glimpses into your loved one's unique history and their current emotional landscape. Each repeated tale, whether it's of a wartime adventure or a wedding day, is a thread in the rich tapestry of their life. By receiving these stories with an open heart, you are not just tolerating a symptom of aging, you are cherishing their legacy. You are affirming their life, their experiences, and their enduring dignity. Allowing them to express themselves, however repetitively, honors their journey and reinforces their value at a time when they may feel their grasp on the world slipping away. Recognizing these signs early gives you the opportunity to provide not just better care, but more thoughtful, loving preparation. This isn't about reversing the inevitable, but about ensuring that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. It's about making important decisions ahead of time, creating an environment that feels safe and familiar, and most importantly, cherishing those meaningful moments that remain. Every quiet conversation, every shared memory, even every repeated story, becomes an invaluable part of your shared journey, a testament to the enduring bond you share. If you are noticing these signs in someone close to you, please know this: you are not alone in this journey. Many families have walked this path, navigating the complexities of cognitive change with love and resilience. While it is never easy, Understanding what to expect can help you find strength, patience, and ultimately, a deeper sense of peace. Lean on your support systems, seek advice from professionals, and allow yourself grace. This challenging time also offers a profound opportunity for connection, for expressing love, and for creating lasting, cherished memories that will echo in your heart long after the stories fade. Thank you for joining us today and for seeking to understand these profound changes. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it to support your loved one. Or simply share your own experiences with repetitive storytelling. Your thoughts and insights are incredibly important to us and to this community. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.